visual novel game called Stranded. I literally know nothing about this game, so we are going to get into it as we go. But before we actually begin, let's look at this stuff. Let's look at the characters. Oh, we actually can't do anything until we play. That makes sense. So I guess we start. Where am I? I can't see. It's so dark. Where am I? It felt as if my mind was in a daze. I couldn't remember anything. While struggling to recall even the faintest of memories, I became more and more helpless, sifting through the endless darkness. My body refused to listen to me, as if it ceased to exist. I felt my intangible form being drawn deeper, sinking into a vast abyss which was devoid of light. What was I doing? Thank God, it's about time! This has been overdue for way too long. I can finally have some time off all to myself. I can't wait to experience all the sights to see, all the lessons to learn, and all the food to eat. But most importantly, my time isn't spent on that shithole of a job. No boss, no work, no sleeping in the office. I'm gonna make sure I make the most out of my time on this vacation. I rambled to myself for a while longer, thinking about the destination as passerbys threw a glance every now and then. They probably thought I had lost whatever few brain cells I had left. Thanks to having worked overnight at the office, like every other night before, but that shouldn't bother me now. Thinking about this vacation just makes me anxious. I feel like my stomach is filled with butterflies. I spent the rest of the time dazing, imagining the vacation before being brought back to reality by an announcement. The airplane I am going to board was now ready, and it will take off in 30 minutes. Time to move. While I was on my way to the terminal, I noticed many couples that were also going for vacation. Couldn't help but feel jealous towards them, and slowly I began to feel lonely. The walls of the terminal felt as if they were getting wider and wider as the people around me began to slowly drift away. My heart aches with the sense of lingering isolation and longing to feel loved and cared for. I wish I had someone, I mumbled to myself. Slap! Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. So you wouldn't announce that you're slapping. So let me do a sound effect. I have no clue how that's going to come up on the recording. Okay, back to the story. After being gloomy for a while, I give my cheek a slap to snap out of it. Dumbass, I'm going on vacation. I'm supposed to be happy. Forget about relationships. This vacation will be all about me, I reminded myself as I made my way to the plane. After struggling to get my seat, I stash away the belongings I had on hand in the compartment up above, a backpack containing an odd book or two, a sweater for when it eventually got too cold for me, and my laptop, which I took out of my bag before throwing myself into my own seat, letting out a loud sigh of relief. I got lucky because I was able to get a single row of seats to myself. I chose to sit next to the window. Sitting next to other people makes me feel awkward. After about 15 to 20 minutes of waiting, the plane began to take off right after everyone had gone through the safety briefing done by the stewards and had their seatbelt fastened. I love to sit next to the window, even though the only thing you can see is the aqua blue sky, so close to the edges of the vast unknowns of space and the soft, pillowy, cotton candy-looking white clouds. Probably because staring outside the window makes you feel lonely, but in a different way. You feel more isolated looking at this vast, empty space. But it's the kind of alone where you feel at peace instead of longing to be loved. Staring into the clouds for a while made me fall asleep. It was mostly peaceful up until the plane began to wobble and shake, making me jump slightly and slowly blink awake. The plane was still shaking for a couple more seconds before it finally stopped. The feeling felt off-putting, as if I had no control over my own body. Above my head, the seatbelt sign lit up, glowing a soft milky white, indicating its passengers to put their seatbelts back on. I sat there confused, along with the other passengers around me looking equally as confused as me. "This is your captain speaking. We have a minor problem. Please remain seated and calm. Follow our stewardess' safety instructions as we resolve the problem." I felt that stirring ache in my stomach again, as if my body was telling me things weren't going to be okay. I could only pray for the best as I remained seated. Boom! Not even a minute passed before I heard a loud boom, followed by another harsh turbulent shake. As if on cue, the right wing of the plane erupted into flames. I sat there watching in fear as the flame snaked its way up to the main hull of the plane. I gripped my armrest in fear as oxygen masks fell from the ceiling. I grabbed the mask quickly and placed it over my face before trying to breathe normally. But I was struggling, my mind fogged with metaphorical smoke as my eyes welled with tears. What's going on? Why did things have to go wrong today? Why today, of all other godforsaken effing days? There was suddenly a loud screeching alarm. My mind fogged up more as the voice of the pilot began to fade into the background. My eyes' vision felt like it was fading away as smoke began to fill the cabin of the plane. "Looks like the fire got in," I said to myself, feeling my body become weightless as the plane began to rapidly descend, the cries and screams of the people around me, making me lose my mind. I could barely make out the silhouettes of people around me clinging to their loved ones. Fuck. I'm gonna die. I'm actually gonna die alone. I wasted my life. I don't want to die a fucking virgin. I'm not even ready yet. I mumbled to myself through the oxygen mask, feeling tears dripping down on my cheek. I was crying. The sense of overwhelming fear made me not realize that I was crying. I was trying to hear what the stewards and stewardesses were trying to say, but her words quickly drowned in the sea of people panicking and screaming as the plane was inching closer to its inevitable end. I tried to lie to myself, telling myself that everything was okay as I closed my eyes. I could still feel myself crying before everything went black. It was silent. No light, no noise, no signs of life that the soul within my body could feel. And everyone. My heart felt heavy at the sudden memory, a pain like I'd never experienced before as both my physical weight and the emotional weight of my heart made my brain mentally snap. As my lungs became heavier, my thoughts began to get fuzzier and fuzzier. I could feel my tears fade into the sea around me. Even though I couldn't feel any pain in my body, the fear was already carved deep inside of me. I don't know how long I have been here. In all honesty, it felt like an eternity. Piecing together what bits of information I had only brought more questions than answers. But everything has an end to it. It wasn't long before I slowly felt my consciousness become to a halt. "Hey, wake up!" I feel someone shaking me, trying to wake me up. "Leave him alone, he's probably already dead." "No, I know he's still alive. Look, he's still breathing." Poke, poke. I open my eyes slowly and see someone trying to wake me up. Poke, poke. An unfamiliar blue figure is casting a shadow upon my body, continuously poking my left cheek. He looks down at me with a concerned look on his face. I apologize for that. You heard my family. Thank God you're still alive. As I was slowly regaining consciousness and trying to make sense of my surroundings, the blue beast turns his head to the side while calling for help. Hey, there's another survivor here! Could you lend me a hand and patch this guy up real quick? Oh, sure. I hear in the distance gentle stomps against the sand, gradually getting closer and closer to me. Before seeing a bunny set next to my weak body within my peripheral vision, patching my wounds up with some disinfectants and gauze. Thankfully, they weren't life-threatening. I'm really glad you're here. I don't know what I would do without you. I see the husky says with a smile towards the bunny. No problem. It's the least I can do to help. I'm gonna regroup with the others and see if they need some help as well. Sure thing. I'll join you and the others in a bit. The bunny bows slightly and smiles reluctantly before making her way out of my view. I tried my best to stand, but couldn't hold myself up. I coughed hoarsely. My breathing was heavy, my whole body zapping me with an aching pain. Please don't move too much. Take a break and let me help get you up. He slowly lifts my body, just enough to make me sit up and lean it back against a tree. Any idea where we are right now? I'm not sure where we are either, but based on our surroundings, doesn't seem like this place is inhabitable. How about you? Are you doing okay? Yeah, I am. Thanks. No problem. I need to look for others. Do me a favor and just stay still, okay? I nodded. Just after I did, he sprinted away. How is he so calm in a situation like this? I briefly glanced at my surroundings, trying to analyze the situation, only to see the remains of the plane scattered across the vast blue sea. So the crash was real. Ooh. I thought with disbelief as I turned my neck to the left. I was now looking at the surface of a pale yellow sandy beach, littered with the bodies of unfortunate souls who were caught up in the catastrophe. Dear God, those people used to live and they were just dead in an instant. Just how many were lost? I pondered and shifted my gaze further out towards the shoreline. Horror and shock overtook me just as soon as I saw it. The scene before me resembled some kind of nightmarish hellscape. Charred remains that looked like a person's forearm and leg, one half of a mutilated-looking torso with scant portions of someone's jawline still attached at the neck. A sickening-looking pile of fleshy-looking innards that glistened underneath the light of day. Splotches and streaks of crimson red could be peered out as far as the eye could see, and debris littered the shoreline as if they were the remnants of some grim memento. The overpowering stench of machine oil permeated the air. A sudden pang of sadness and revulsion was felt, and I impulsively turned away from the grisly spectacle, only to be faced with a lush green jungle lined with tall coconut trees and rows of bamboo. The sudden change of scenery took me by surprise, and I felt bewildered just by staring at the weird assortment of foliage. So much mixed colors, and certainly not the kind of diversity that was expected from this trip, but it was a picture of heaven in comparison to the horror that was witnessed earlier. Having seen it all, I still couldn't help bringing myself to accept reality. Oh wait, no. I still couldn't bring myself to accept reality. But the situation was all too real, and I was caught up in it. At least I wasn't alone. There were others, like that husky and bunny. Just where did they go? I asked myself while frantically orienting myself towards the last known direction I saw the husky running off towards. If there was even a chance that others survived, then perhaps we could help each other out of this nightmare. Now to get myself up. With a deep breath, I hauled myself up and stood on wobbly knees, leaning against the tree like a crutch for support, grasping my right shoulder. I gave it a firm push outwards and felt a joint readjust itself with a resounding crack. Oh, that's a disturbing sound. Okay. Phew. It doesn't feel sprained or dislocated, but I think this is a bed sore. I think that is a bed sore I feel. Perhaps that bunny has some ointment for it. I thought to myself while eyeing the rest of my arm for any other abnormalities. Why was that word so hard to say? I don't know. Seeing that nothing else was amiss, my focus once again returned straight ahead, and I saw the person that helped me a few minutes ago. He was walking back towards me in a frantic fashion. I immediately felt a sense of guilt, since he must have been running back and forth while I rested. It was clear that I had to speak my mind. Hey. What are you doing? I told you to stay still. You need to rest, please. I'm fine, I can't simply let you do all the work. You don't really need to, though. You're badly hurt. I can find them myself. Like you're any better. I'm still gonna help, no matter how much you try to stop me. Please, being alone here is the last thing I want. Alright, fine, thanks. By the way, the name's Kim. How may I address you? Okay, so we're gonna go for my normal name that I use for these kinds of things. Ash. Enter. Sorry about that. My name is Ash. Nice to meet you, Ash. I hope we get along well. So this is Kim. He seems like a nice dude. He saved us. He's the reason we're alive. He smiled wide from ear to ear. Looking at Kim's expression, he was still remaining calm, like an unmoving pond with no ripples or splashes. It was as if he knew this would have happened and was prepared for it. Curiosity flooded my mind. I can't help but wonder the reason for it. How can you be so calm in a situation like this? I can barely get myself together. I asked him as I still tried to steady my breathing. It was getting better, slowly but surely. Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm still worried about the situation that we're in right now, but the best thing to do now is to calm down and think about what we need to do to survive in this situation. A calm mind is a clear mind. Uh-huh, but you look like you've adapted to this immediately. It's a thing I taught myself. To be calm in any situation so that I know what to do next with a clear mind. Even for a situation like this? Well, I didn't expect this to happen anywhere within my lifetime either. So, how many survivors do we have so far? Not many, unfortunately. I'm sure you saw the damage. There are more casualties than we would want. Fucking hell. Unsure of what to say, I walked beside him in distraught. It wasn't long until we began approaching closer towards a group of people. They seemed to be discussing something. The other survivors are over there. We should join them. Perhaps we can plan a couple of things out. I nodded at Kim before walking with him to join the group. We made our appearance to the small group consisting of different fur people. Is that what they're called in this world? The fur people? That's weird. Okay, so we see Kim here on the right with us. And then there's the bunny girl, I want to say that's a girl. And we have what looks like a polar bear, an otter, and a fox. I think he's an otter. I don't know. I can't assume what any of them are. A polar bear, a bunny, an otter, and a red fox. Wow, I had that spot on. Seems like they were discussing something. Hey guys, sorry for taking so long. Silence befell the group as none of them said a single word upon our arrival. Some of them took a quick glance at us before averting their eyes away. You guys okay? What happened here? Yeah, being stuck in the middle of nowhere is totally okay. Real effing peachy. Come on, man, just stop. A sense of dread floats in the air. Whatever happened here wasn't going so well. Everyone wasn't looking too great, all patched up and disheveled looking. I can only stand in place not knowing what to say. It wasn't a while until the bunny breaks the silence. Then, how are we supposed to get home? It, is there nothing we can do? I just... I want to go home, she said before placing her hands over her face, letting out a loud exhale. Hey, it's okay. Don't panic. I'm sure we can do something. We'll find a way. Yeah, we'll get through this and get ourselves home. All of us. I know. I'm sorry. Listen, before anything else, I would like to pay respects to the others who were not so fortunate. I eyed the group while speaking, and saw solemn faces all around. The fox's expression still held its harshness, but no words came out of his mouth. If anyone wishes to sit this out, then now is the time. All had their heads bowed in respect except for the fox, who let out an exasperated sigh before following suit. I wasted no more time and gave a brief farewell for those that have departed. Though strangers we remain, in memory you are retained. Rest in peace now, nameless brothers and sisters. Well, that was sweet, I guess. I mean, that's devastating that they all died, but at least they got respect. Okay. There was an awkward silence which lasted for a bit after I gave my eulogy. Is that how you would pronounce that? Eulogy? I'll figure that out eventually. But necessity dared the husky to speak up. We should all go further inland, away from the crash site. There's too little time to bury the bodies, and I'm not sure if I even feel like it at the moment. He struggles with his words, trying hard to downplay the carnage on the beach. The others could only nod slowly in unison. I agree, but eventually we would need to clear up the bodies. I hear wildlife all around us, so we need to assume that the mess would only attract predators. That is a potential threat for us all. I do not know why I am struggling so hard to speak. I replied in a concerned tone, while staring him in the eyes. True. But I say we make that tomorrow's problem, since our priority now is to secure a campsite before we lose the light of day. So far, we only know that we're stuck on a deserted island, according to our findings. Yeah, this place is indeed an island. We even covered some high ground to get a glimpse of our surroundings. Yep, I was surprised that you could even climb a tree that fast. Before I knew it, you were high up there. Just take a little screenshot of that for the thumbnail. But we couldn't find any buildings or anything man-made. Somehow I have this very clear image of him on top of a tree. Is he a monkey now? Monkey. Not only that, the cell phone signal is busted. Not a single effing bar. Is he gonna be like that, Britney stereotype? Like, has to have some kind of access to the internet no matter what? No matter how serious the situation is? Is he gonna be that little a-hole character that no one likes, but has a secret redemption arc? I feel like it. Okay. So we really are cut off from the rest of the world. Well, if anything, our survival takes priority. People will be looking for us eventually. But for now, what do you guys think we should do first? Ash, any ideas? Timer. Some choices are time sensitive. Make a choice or perform an action before the time runs out, otherwise another path will be taken which may not be desirable. You only have a few seconds to react. If you wish to resign to your fate but do not want to wait, clicking the timer will speed it down to 0 seconds, forcing the path immediately. As this is your first timed choice event, the next choice has no lasting consequences, but future ones may. Ooh. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. This is a lot to take in. Well, don't beat yourself up too hard. We're all in the same boat here. Wait, since when are we on a boat? I'm so gonna die with these idiots. Well, anyone? Maybe we should salvage the airplane? You know, before the resources float away? That's a great idea. Oh, I accidentally tapped. I don't know how to go back. I'm not going. Huh? You guys can go collect stuff. But I'll go and mind my own business. I stand close to Kim as the red fox walks away out of our view, without ever looking back. Oh, don't worry about him. He's been like that since we've been here. Yeah, he doesn't let anyone near him. He's probably having it hard right now. Just let it slide. I'm sure he'll come around. We're still adapting to this situation in our own ways, after all. Right. All of us except the red fox headed towards the remains of the plane and proceeded with our plan. A few hours passed, and it seemed like all of us managed to salvage at least one thing from the remains of the wreck. There wasn't much left to find, only a few cans of food, a few bottles of mineral water, and a med kit. Oh, that cloud looks like a weird shape. Okay. The day passed by quickly as the sky turned a beautiful shade of amber just upon the horizon, with a pinkish-purple glow emanating from the remnants of the sun's glow. By the time we regrouped again, it was already dark. It was only then I realized, crap. What did we realize? Huh? Is something wrong? We didn't make a campfire for the night. Oh, crap, you're right. We were all so caught up in salvaging what we could that we've forgotten all about it. Then what should we do now? Do we even have the time to build one now? I don't think it'll be safe to go through the dark to gather firewood now. But it's more dangerous to be in the dark at night. Who knows what creature might sneak up on us in the dark? I guess it'll be a very long, cold night. Well, if it's cold you're worried about, my big fluffy fur can warm you up all night. I mean, he does look very floofy. He even has a belly. A little cheek floof. He looks very friend-shaped. Very friend-shaped. Alright, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll manage what we can find for now and build one. Guys, is that smoke? She said, lifting her hand to point at the direction of the smoke. Wherever there's smoke, there's fire. Let's go! I don't know why I said it like that. No, wait! My sudden voice startled the polar bear so much that he tripped and face-planted himself on the sandy beach. The front of his body is now covered in sand, which he quickly brushed off upon getting back on his feet. He definitely wasn't happy about that. What's that for? Shh! We're stranded on an unknown island with no signs of buildings. Who could be making that fire? Ash is right. We should be careful at least. All of us approached the source of the smoke. The burning light of the campfire grew brighter and brighter the closer we got. Sitting by the fire source was none other than the fox that didn't join the salvaging. He noticed us approaching him before giving a glance at us. "What? Don't look at me like that, creeps." The fox looked back towards the fire before throwing another piece of firewood into it. "Wow, I knew you were onto something when you left us." "Well, no one ever mentioned making a fire. You all happily went for your soul-bonding expedition." "Yeah, but how did you make the campfire, though?" "Exactly. Is that... Oh my goodness, is that a reference to Tanjiro from Demon Slayer? Do you have a secret flame-breathing technique you're not telling us about?" That's a Demon Slayer reference. Which is ironic, because I'm wearing a Demon Slayer hoodie. Like that one show, Demon Slayer. The otter pushed the bear away. Why? Anyway, you could have told us that before going on your own. The red fox turns away, ignoring the otter, and focuses his gaze on the fire silently. Smoke and ashes flew up as the sound of fire burning the wood fills the silent night. It wasn't a while until the bunny broke the silence. Thank you for making a campfire. I just hope you all didn't waste your time salvaging that plane wreckage. We did get some stuff out of it, though. Do you mind if we join you? Help yourself. Everyone proceeded to sit around the fire, regaining their warmth slowly. For once, the warmth feels great. Didn't you gloat on how you can warm us all night back then? Well, yeah, but nothing can beat the warmth of fire. I couldn't help but chuckle at his dumb antics sometimes. It's just what you need after a hard, long day. We sat around the fire, equally distanced from one another. Some of us try to dry ourselves after dipping into the seawater. The fox, on the other hand, was relaxing against a rock, looking up at the sky with a sigh of boredom puffing through his muzzle. Everyone was very quiet around the fire, exhaustion slowly consuming us. But it seemed as if no one is really dozing off or sleeping yet for some reason. I pondered for a moment in my silence. Where would I end up at the end of all this? As I daydreamt, I felt a nudge from my left shoulder. It was Kim, trying to bring me back from my dazed state. "Hey, you alright?" "Yeah, I'm doing fine. Just thinking of the possibilities." "Well, as I was saying to the group, we might be stuck here for a few days. Might as well get to know each other. Also, we didn't really introduce ourselves properly yet, so let's start over." Okay, I think we're about to meet everyone, but I want to save that for the next video, because this one has already gotten very long. So, if you want to see more of Stranded, stay tuned for the next upload. I will try to upload it regularly, so just stay tuned. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and be sure to recommend me to any of your friends that like the stuff that I do. Oh, crap. I accidentally went forward instead of saving. I'm Kim, a sports coach at Funeration University. A pleasure to know you all. Let's try it. Quick save. I think we're not in the best situation here, but just remember that you can count on me for anything. I'm trying so hard to hit the tiny save button. I'm on mobile. And I'm Beru, currently unemployed, but was actively looking for a job to pay the bills and hopefully find a place of my own. Yes, I quick saved. Okay. So we are done with Stranded for today. Come back in the next video. We've already met Kim and Beru. And I can't remember what the bunny said her name was. Bye!